my solitude.
Hello?
Hey, Richard, it's Darin.
Yeah?
Hey, people asked me if we would do another one of those videos where we talk to a really interesting artist. Would you be interested?
Oh, of course I would.
What do you think about doing somebody who's not from the U.S. for a change?
Oh, there you go. That's a good idea. What do you think about Joanna Kidney?
It's a great idea. Let's call Joanna Kidney and see if she would chat with us for a little bit.
Okay, that sounds good. Bye.
Talk to you later.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
So yeah, I think you need to find something that says turn video on.
Yeah.
Maybe that icon is Joanna. She's turned into a
There we go.
There you are.
Upside down.
Hi.
Hi there.
Nice to see you.
You too. How are you? Hi, Richard.
Hi, how are you?
Very good. Good to see you.
Yes,
All this distance away.
I know. And is this the new studio?
It is indeed. Yes. My new hovel.
Pretty nice.
Where's the giant mural in Sanguine Earth?
Didn't quite get to do it on time.
And we need to send you some more sticks to do it, right?
Yeah, probably.
So how is it? That studio is relatively new, yeah?
Yeah, it is really new, like just in the nick of time. It was being built in February, and there was kind of a sprint to the end to get it finished before lockdown. Danny, the builder, was amazing. He kind of, just sprinted to the end, and really good timing that I can be in. It still needs its second fix of electrics and a couple of bits and bobs, but I can work away and manage with a hookup system for power.
Yeah, from what I was seeing on like Instagram and stuff, it went up fast. I mean, it's hard to tell on Instagram how quickly something's happening, but it seemed like boom, boom, boom.
It was, 6 weeks, maybe 5-6 weeks. Wow. And a one-man show. Danny, a friend of ours, built it, and he was very organized in his mind in advance. He described it like adding layers, a bit like making a painting. So he had all the layers, timber frame structures. So all the layers organized in his mind, and just worked away, arrived at 8 every day, and we had great weather most of the time. So it was fantastic. And it went really smoothly.
Prior studio, is there a fire?
There was. That's just February 2018. We had a fire. Outpost Studios, we're a collective. There's 8 of us, and we'd set the studios up at the end of 2014. And in the middle of the night, there was a wipeout fire, that demolished the building. So it was pretty major in terms of a wipeout, really, on loads of levels.
I'm sure. It must have been devastating.
Yeah. So I'd been working in lots of different spaces for the following couple of years. I think it was about 8 spaces I worked in. And
like being an artist nomad.
Yeah, with bits and pieces here and there, in the attic and my mum and dad's place, and under beds as I began to gather materials and equipment again. Just getting to make this space at home and it be secure and kind of permanent, and that I can really put my roots down is really amazing, Do
you know how that fire started?
No, there was no official report on it. It was kind of alluded that it was faulty electrics. It was an old building, and it had been mostly empty for years before we moved in. There was old light bulbs and an old system, and the damage was so severe that they couldn't do an official analysis on it, but they figured that it was probably an electrical fault.
The reason I asked was because artists very often have, use old buildings or, you know, whatever is cheap. And this is always a danger. That's what happened in California with that very disastrous fire they had. But also sometimes, you know, just not good, sloppy habits too.
Yeah.
With solvents and rags.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you trying to blame her?
No rags.
No.
It sounds like you're starting an investigation.
No. It's just that I guess I'm just talking about the dangers that artists need to be mindful of, you know, because there have been fires for many, you know, for both of those reasons, and it's important to, you know, to be practicing safety things. No, I was not blaming you. And even
absolutely.
if the evidence is all gone.
Yeah, I'm sure that there was, you know, people who kind of made an assumption that it was connected to materials we were using or, you know, unsafe practice, but you know, it doesn't seem so, you know.
Well, I think most fires are electric.
Yeah.
These days, I mean, the overwhelming amount of they're usually some level of, you know, an electric thing. Then I suppose if you just have a bunch of gasoline-soaked rags around, and then your electric goes bad.
Yeah.
But you know,
that was it. Once the fire had started, it was well fueled by all the different, you know, stuff in all our studios. So it was, you know, apparently it was one of the most raging fires the firemen had seen by the time they got there.
Wow.
Ironically, it was right beside the fire station, but just it wasn't caught in time, unfortunately.
Yeah. And so wait, and then you were to have an opening today, is that right?
Yes, this evening, of the collaborative drawing project that I'm doing with Michael Geddes, who's an artist from Northern Ireland. And we started about 4 years ago making drawings together. We met up in Ballinglen Arts Foundation in Mayo, and I just suggested having a go at making some drawings together, and it kind of grew from there and just kept going, and there was enough in it for both of us to still be here 4 years later, you know. So we were due to show it now, opening tonight in the gallery there, so that'll happen next year, all going well. But just remembering today, it would have been tonight.
That's sad, but you know you are going to have it, like they've rescheduled it, or
we've rescheduled it most likely for May next year. Okay. So hopefully it'll be a busy enough time there. Ballycastle is a small village, but it's very vibrant. The foundation has been around for a long time, and it's well rooted in the community, and there's a lot of artists passing through on residencies and the workshop program that they run. Yeah, it's a great little spot. It's kind of home away from home for me now. I've been going there for many years, each year to do a residency, and it's just such a welcoming, lovely place to be. Everybody who goes falls in love with it.
Yeah, it looks beautiful. I mean, I've seen, you know, from the people that are going there to a ton. It seems like a lot of people from here are going there to take classes or teach or whatever.
Well, the first residency is generally 6 weeks long, so it's a really good chunk of time to, you know, get to know the place and everything around it and the people there. So you know, just get a little bit embedded in everyday life in the village.
Yeah.
My kids went to school there for the first couple of years that I went up, and that was just gorgeous experience for them.
You have 2 kids?
Yeah. They're 11 and 13, nearly 12 and 14. So, you know, fairly independent. It's kind of a good age to be stuck at home for us to be able to continue to work, you know.
Are you still in full? Are they kind of opening up, or
say that again?
Are you opening up there in Ireland, or is it still in full lockdown?
So phase 1 of a 5-stage plan begins next week, and we can meet in groups of 4 from next Monday. And between then and the 10th of August, there's kind of 5 stages to it, mapped out, all going well. So at the moment, we're within 5 kilometers of home. For that only increased from 2 kilometers to 5 kilometers a few weeks ago. So the elation at being able to go 3 kilometers further away from home and climb the mountain nearby and those things were exciting.
And does everybody abide by the guidelines or the rules?
Yeah, I think we've done pretty well overall. You know, people really are keeping a physical distance, and the roads and out and about was really quiet. You know, it's got busier now since the 5K came in, and I could see it creeping in before that. But I think overall that we've responded well to the restrictions in Ireland, which is, you know, it's a relief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're struggling.
How are you finding it there? How are you finding it there with people responding to social distancing?
Yeah, without getting too political, it's divided, just like everything is. I see some slippage.
Yeah,
quite a bit actually. It's just like a little bit, you know. So we have a similar sort of phased in kind of plan, but it's not. It allows too much interpretation. That's my, you know, people are itching to get out, and so they want to sort of say, well, I'm part of this group, so I can, you know, go do what I want and take my mask.
Yeah, and not clear kind of guidelines and instructions from above.
Yeah.
Is that the same in Ireland too? That you feel they weren't that they're not that clear?
No, I do feel it's been very clear in Ireland. Actually,
what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, very clear, and I think it's been handled well. Yeah, I'm grateful to be living here at the moment, honestly. So yeah, it's been clear, and people have been waiting for the next kind of set of guidelines, and it has been clear.
Yeah.
And cautious, you know, cautious as well, which I think has been good from the beginning, acting quite quickly and not waiting around.
It's been quite poor here, as you
Yes.
out read. And
Yeah.
it's amazing how the difference in leadership, and we'll see this in the long run, will giving clear guidance and not giving clear guidance affects the outcome.
Absolutely, it's kind of everything. It's a shame.
Well, yeah, we're trying to figure out if we're going to be open, you know, when.
And what are you thinking there then?
I mean, from what they're saying, you know, by the letter of the thing, we shouldn't be open yet. But I know there's lots of businesses in this area that are like either partly or just fully open.
Yeah.
And so it's frustrating seeing them be able to, you know, there's no enforcement, so there's no, you know, so it's frustrating watching them go ahead.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, it's like we're grouped with our region that they're doing our measurements on, that we have to meet with metrics. It includes everything right down to New York City, not including New York City, but the county's right outside. So we're included with some very high numbers.
Absolutely. So it's going to be slower.
Yeah,
for you to go ahead then.
You know, our building is like, you know, the main floor is like, you know, 7,000 square feet. Could we responsibly put 3 people in there? I mean, I could put 3 people in there and they'll never even see each other.
Yeah, yeah.
And it wouldn't be fully back to work, but 3 people would be a lot better than me. I'm like half a person at this point. So,
yeah.
So it's, but ultimately it's, you know, I would like to get through the whole thing and say we did the right thing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Either way, it's going to be bad when we look back on it. I'd like to know that I wasn't contributing to the bad numbers. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, well, hopefully soon.
I mean, I haven't seen Richard. When was the last time I saw you in person, Richard?
Back in the winter of 20, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I had a little cough and you sent me home.
Yeah, that was probably early March, I think.
No, it was February.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He had a raspy voice and he kept coming into work. And
you sent him home?
Yeah. He was like, well, I'm not sick. And I'm like, I'm sure you're not sick, but every time you kind of talk, everybody gets a weird kind of look about them. So like maybe maybe just go.
And this was in the early days before you realized, no, you don't even that. You know,
Yeah.
Somebody says, "Oh, I'm feeling fine." Now we know you don't believe them.
Yeah, you stand right back.
Yeah, at that point we were just learning to wash our hands.
Yeah.
Can we just to get off that subject a little bit? I'm curious about your collaboration that you've been doing.
Yeah, with Michael Geddes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Are those pieces in the back?
No, I have a few pieces here, which encaustic pieces we've been working on actually.
Oh.
Wow.
Shall I give you a go?
Yes.
Yeah, give us a go.
Yeah.
Go?
Okay. Let me turn it round. Hang on, I'm flipping you.
Wow.
So so we started drawing on paper, and we did a lot of drawings on paper, an awful lot, and then we began to move on to exploring encaustic as a medium for us. Can you see that there? Is that coming up clear? So this is one we have on the go. These are 30 by 30, and we've a load of these on the go, and we've just started these larger ones, which are 1 meter square, and we got some funding for that. And as you know, scale is a whole different beast with encaustic, so we're in the early days. I think there's probably been about 4 passes on this green one here.
So you're both working on it.
We are. So I do a pass, I add a part drawing, and I hand it over to Michael, and he does a part drawing and hands it back to me, and it just continues that way until we agree that it's concluded, until we agree that it's finished, which sometimes isn't very straightforward of a conversation, but part of the reason that the collaboration has developed and worked well is that we generally do agree on the works and when they're finished. I'd be more inclined to tweak and sit with it for longer and do a little bit here, a little bit there to kind of finalize a piece than Michael would, but it's been really interesting, the differences actually. The differences between how we think and how we work have become more interesting than the similarities, you know what I mean? Whereas in the beginning, it was similarities that made us go, let's give making drawings together a go and see what happens. So Michael's work is all drawing. He works predominantly with graphite, and he works at a really microscopically detailed level. He's a retired vet, so he is a scientist, and he's his knowledge of that feeds into his work. But he likes to allow the work to develop from his kind of pool of patterns and structures that he's very familiar with. So he works intuitively when he's drawing, and my work is rooted in drawing, but I'm interested in the possibilities of drawing and the expanded possibilities of drawing, moving into paint and 3-dimensional work as well. So I'd be more experimental and work more solely abstractly than Michael would. And those differences where he's working sometimes more figuratively, and I get the drawing and it just looks too much like little insects to me, and I fight with it. Those are the more like interesting aspects of this project where we are kind of butted up against each other and have to solve the problems. You know what I mean? I
don't know if you see that. I was trying to pull some pictures together earlier, and then some work stuff crept in. It's almost hard to see. I think that's one of our larger drawings on paper. That's 56 centimeters square. So what would that be? Do it, Richard.
5? No, that's wrong.
No, it'd be way less than that. It'd be like 2 feet.
Yeah.
There's another one.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a detail of one of the same size.
Right. I only got 3 thick, and then I was going to show you this. That's him, Richard.
That's Michael there. Yeah.
Working with
in his drawing uniform. Yeah.
Wow.
So he has these loop glasses, these surgeon loop glasses, which magnifies what he's working on, and he wears that mobile headset light. And he has the most extensive range of really fine mechanical pencils, which he imported from Japan, and he's put me onto them. So yeah, it's really interesting. It's been meaty because it's gone on for so long, you know. It's kind of 4 years, and we'll be showing it next year in a couple of places, and so that will be heading on 5 years. And moving actually into working with Encaustic has been a really kind of, it feels like we're both working to our strengths, and he's actually off on an Encaustic buzz now himself. He started making his own work with Encaustic.
So he had no experience before with Encaustic, or?
No, he had worked with wax a little bit in college, but not much. No, he'd really been solely working with graphite on paper for years. Well, and some alternative printmaking techniques on glass. But yeah, the wax as a ground, and he's been, you know, he kind of, what's the word? He makes his own tools kind of thing. So he's working with acupuncture needles in these surgeon grip tools to make really fine incisions, and he has different shaped needles that he uses kind of, to make different kinds of lines.
No, I'm sorry, you froze for a second. That's interesting, and he's using these in the Encaustic, you're saying?
Yes, so he's inscribing really deeply into the wax ground. So I would generally lay down the ground and start off the Encaustic works and make quite a thick ground. So he inscribes really deeply, which has turned out to be wonderful because I attack it then scraping, and I can really, really scrape a lot away without taking away his lines. So, but he started playing around with intarsia now, where he's digging out larger channels of wax and filling them with the paint. Right. So he actually got a grant from the Arts Council in Northern Ireland to set himself up with an Encaustic studio. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's interesting to see what's happening in his own work alongside, as a result of this project, his own Encaustic work that he's developing. So, yeah, it's really exciting to work large with him. It's, you know, also a bit of a beast, a bit of a challenge.
But he's also, he's not where you are. Did you say he's?
Yeah, he's in Northern Ireland.
So is he visiting, or the paintings, if they're big Encaustic paintings, they're staying in one place, I would imagine, or?
Yeah, and we had been meeting monthly, halfway, to exchange them in the boots of the car, in a car park beside a cafe in an industrial estate, and they know us at this stage.
I'm sure that's not suspicious.
Sort of like a drug deal.
No, these strange things passed from boot to boot.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully we'll get back to that soon. We'll be able to travel as work, because we can no longer continue with the project at the moment. Now it's been at a standstill. So yeah, we swap them as frequently as we can, but we also have been getting together for a week-long residency together over the past few years. I think kind of twice a year over the past couple of years. So we had one planned for this summer and for autumn. So we'll see how we go. It may not happen. We might just need to travel more frequently to exchange them.
Amazing. You know, I did that, I think, I had one little dabble in school of like sharing a drawing with somebody, you know, we both, and it, you know, it was, I think it was probably more of a commitment problem than anything, because, you know, to push through the part where you're like, I want to be respectful of what you just did with this thing. And, you know, and there were other people in the class, like other pairs, you know, when it was over, you could see like, oh, they got it. Like you had to go in and really, you know, do what you needed to do and kind of be a little bit ruthless. And then the other person had to understand that, like, okay, this might go away. And I don't know. It was something I always thought of like doing again. I don't know, Richard, I'll bet you've done that.
Yeah, I did. Pardon? Yeah, I did it. I had a really wonderful experience in 1994. I went to my one painting venture since I started the business. I went to the Vermont Studio Center in the fall of '94, and while I was there, I met this woman who was just this sort of like, she was the doyenne of the especially of the meal room. You know, I mean. She had a table and people would come sit next to her, and she was very judgmental. You know, she liked this thing or she didn't like that thing, but but she and I became very good friends. And she was in her late 70s, I think. She was, I think she was somewhat depressed. She'd been going through breast cancer treatments. And I made the suggestion. I said, you know, Dorothy, how would you like to do this project where we do portraits of each other, but halfway through we switch and finish them as self-portraits? And so I gessoed up a whole bunch of papers, and we had, of course, a big pile of, guess what, pigment sticks between us, and we sat at either end of a long table, and we worked, and then that was fun. But then we switched. We started off as self-portraits and gave them to the other to finish off as portraits. And what Darin was saying, you know, suddenly you're working on somebody's self-image, and it was a really weird thing. It was like walking on thin ice, sort of. You weren't sure if it was thin or thick, but it was really it was a really cool experience. And I remember one time when we were working and it was almost dinner time, and I said, Dorothy, she was struggling, you could see, and and I said to her, Dorothy, it's almost dinner time. She said, no, I got to keep working. She worked all the way through dinner, and she was still having trouble. I said, what's the problem? She said, I'm making myself look too young. And I said, that's because you think you are. And it was just an unforgettable experience. And I have this whole set of portraits now.
And how many did you do?
About 8. Actually, I'm missing one. I don't know what happened, and to me, it was the best one. But I have the photo. I did get photographs of I think of all of them, but including the missing one for some reason. I don't know how I got it, because I never did find it. But anyway, it was just it was a very moving experience, and also because, again, she died a few years later, and she was this incredible person. She'd been a mechanical draftsman during World War II. She'd been a race car driver. She'd raised kids. She was just an incredible person who painted beautiful, really wonderful landscapes, sort of very loose and I can't quite describe it, but she. They looked a lot like, there was an Icelandic painter named, I can't remember her first, Louisa, Matthias' daughter. And her work looked very much like that. And it was just very beautiful. They were sort of not totally defined. And so, but again, I'm remembering back, what now, almost 25 years.
And did you notice that throughout making the 8 pieces together, did you notice that what changed throughout doing it again and again, you know, as you got to know each other's kind of marks and work a little bit more, did how you made your next ones change, alter?
It was too short a time.
Yeah.
It was a week. In fact, I extended my stay there precisely for that. It's too concentrated a time. You don't see that. You need that long time. That's why what you're doing over 4 years is an incredible thing. I mean, I'm just fascinated by it, because that's the kind of thing that allows for so much just relationships to develop. I mean, the things become symbols of a personal relationship.
Absolutely, yeah.
That you have.
Oh, we're losing your.
We're not getting your audio.
Oh no!
We're both gone there. There you are.
Oh.
So it was really only we were posting each other forward and back packages of drawings, and we weren't having conversations. So it was really like getting to know each other through the drawings and kind of almost assimilating each other's, you know, kind of language or
I lost you
shapes and patterns that we work with. Can you hear me there?
Yeah.
And then I suppose we began to work larger, and we began to talk. Well, we made an assessment, actually. We did a very scientific taxonomic kind of segregation of families of drawings and what was working and what was not working, which was fascinating to me. And it was very kind of natural for Michael's way of kind of proceeding with the body of work. But it was new to me to be so kind of methodical about assessing work. So that was fascinating. That's an experience that has kind of altered the way I make work, actually. And then after that, we'd figured out what was working within our collaboration and focused then on that in larger pieces. And we've done some concertina folded drawings as well. And then the encaustic started, I'm not sure, a year and a half ago, something like that.
It's an amazing project. It really is. I'm sorry that you don't get to have your opening tonight, but you know, it sounds like you're just gonna plow on anyway. And
we're working towards another show next year anyway. So the pieces I was showing you there are towards a bigger show next year in a bigger venue. So just kind of keeping the head down, making work anyway. The volume's gone very low actually there, Darin.
Oh.
I have mine up, but I can't hear you guys so well.
Can you hear me?
Same volume as Darin.
Huh. Yeah, something's going on here. Well, it's getting close to where we're gonna be at the end anyway. So
see, I told you it was short.
It is extremely short. I can't believe we are nearly 40 minutes in.
I feel like I need to like be honest with you guys though, because I'm actually not. Richard, did you think I was in the office?
Yes, actually I did.
This is what I've been using. That other picture is from our shop, but I'm actually at home.
Oh,
right
sporting
now, so.
Part of the Irish flag there, Darin.
I found this green screen and it just works out. I can go full pigment sticks.
Oh, there we go.
I can go space. I can go like, let's see. I think there's like a video. Yeah, there you go.
Cool.
Just pretend that somebody's
see it in motion.
Behind me.
Yeah, so he can say, we're really not shut down.
So yeah, I feel like a liar if I don't at least tell you what I was up to. But anyway,
come clean.
I'm not in my house either. I'm in the coffee shop actually with 1 million people around.
I was trying to figure out if I could somehow get a picture of your room, Richard, but it would have taken too much. Like I would have needed Pamela to sneak in, take a picture, and then I could make myself look like I was sitting in the same room. I don't know. It would take too much effort.
I can see now there's that kind of halo around you there, Darin.
Yeah, it gets a little
I haven't seen that before.
Yeah.
2 places at the one time.
This is literally, when I do these calls at work, this is pretty much what it looks like. But yeah, I'm not. Yeah. So
normally with my kids, they're the ones visiting outer space and coming and going in the frame. That option.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, man, it's really nice to see you.
You too, both of you. Thanks for visiting.
Yeah, I hope we get to see you in person sometime in the next, I don't know, I guess maybe next year.
I guess so.
More likely.
All going well. We'll all miss the conference this year.
Yeah.
Getting together.
Certainly.
Yeah, that would be coming up right now, wouldn't it? I think. I don't even
know. Yeah. It's like 2 weeks.
Oh,
yeah.
I've lost so much track. It's like, they say the days are longer than the weeks. Strange, but
and they're flying by too.
But yeah, seeing your work and everything, it's inspiring seeing what some people are doing with their time. All the artists. So it's
absolutely really cool. It alters us.
Yeah.
This experience.
Absolutely. All right, Richard, do you have anything else?
No, I was just very happy that we did this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me along.
Yeah, and it's Friday night now for you, so
nearly Friday night.
Yeah.
Nearly time for Friday night gin and tonic.
That's right. I'm gonna have to wait a few hours, but
yeah,
we'll get there. All right, Joanna, take care. Thank you so much.
See you soon.
Yeah.
Bye. Cheerio. Bye.
Bye-bye.